I'm not going to be giving any exact time or places when I read this story, so bear that in mind when listening. This happened in AB Prefecture, near a famous haunted place, the I-65 tunnel. It was high school, and me and 4 other dumb guys got together late one night. You've probably heard this one before. We were pissing around when we decided to go to this tunnel we had all heard was haunted. We hopped on our scooters and spent about an hour driving there. It was about 2 a.m. when we got there. I was fine till we got to the little mountain road that was next to the tunnel. We pulled off, and in front of it, God, I felt like I was gonna pass out. It even seemed like the ones who were really strong among us were starting to get relatively scared. My friend Takahiro was at the lead of the group. He was always the bravest. "What you scared of, Takahiro?" I taunted. Glad to find someone who was with me was even more nervous. "I'm not scared of anything," he insisted. But he was pale, and he stared at his feet and walked funny. The rest of us kind of laughed and chuckled amongst ourselves with nervous laughter. Of course I thought he'd be following us, but I didn't hear any footsteps. The tunnel was so dark you couldn't see 10 centimeters in front of your face, but we kept going in further. "Man, fuck, let's get out of here," somebody screamed. I felt them run past me in the opposite direction. Everyone followed. Right before I got outside, I heard somebody else. "Ow! Ow! Ow! Ow!" I saw his figure balled up on the ground as he cried out. It was Kimura. I didn't know what was happening, but he was wailing, and he held his right arm tightly. "What's wrong?" I asked. He just kept crying. "Hurry, drag him out!" Takahiro screamed desperately, standing at the entrance of the tunnel. The 3 of us gathered around him and tried to get him up, but he wasn't moving. He should have only weighed about maybe 60 kilograms, 122 pounds, but the 3 of us couldn't get him to budge no matter how hard we tried. He continued screaming the entire time, which just made everything more disturbing. We all knew something wasn't right, and some of us started to panic. Suddenly, his screams became eerie laughter, as if he had gone crazy. His eyes were rolling back into his head, and his face was becoming warped. Suddenly, he became much, much lighter. The 3 of us gripped onto him and dragged him out as quickly as we could. He continued laughing, and Takahiro stepped toward us. "Hey man, snapped out of it," he yelled and slapped him across the face. "Huh? What the hell are you doing?" "Where am I?" he said suddenly, coming out of whatever trance he was in. Nobody was in a mood to joke about it, so we explained how it had just happened exactly. "Well, now that you mention it, my face and my arm hurt really bad." He rolled up his right sleeve, and what looked like slender, bony hands wrapped around his arm. "Let's get the fuck out of here," somebody said. We sped down the mountain as quickly as our scooters could take us. Komodo was second in line going down, and Takahiro was behind him. The road was perfectly smooth, but somehow Komodo managed to fall over. Me, Takahiro, and another guy behind me managed to brake fast enough not to make the situation even worse. But man, Komodo was covered in blood. We were beginning to feel desperate, but we managed to make it to the main road without any more problems. We went straight to the emergency clinic to check on Komodo's injuries and the burned hand mark on his arm. Takahiro suggested that we go to temple to get cleansed, but it was 4 a.m. and, well, nothing was open. We decided instead to go to a 24-hour family restaurant and waited for morning. That's when Takahiro started talking. Did you guys see that old lady standing in the tunnel? It was so dark, but it was almost like I was blind, but I could see her clear as day. I was scared. I was so scared. There was no way I was going anywhere near that thing. Then you guys took off running further into the tunnel. She followed you. You turned back around and came back, and she was grabbing onto Kimura. He tried taking her off, but she wouldn't let go. She just disappeared, and that's when he started laughing like a maniac. Later, he fell off his scooter, and it looked like someone had hit his back wheel, just pushed it out underneath him. It didn't collapse. We really didn't have much to say while we waited for news on our friend. We learned that his scrapes and bruises weren't any danger to him, and the 5 of us went to temple together later. It's been a while since all of this has happened, and I'm lucky I'm doing all right.